Hi there, Azoria here, and I wanted to make a quick little video because I know we have a lot of people that are new to our community or new to Discord, and I wanted to give you a little quick walkthrough of how to find the information that you need in our community so that you can become a part of it. So what I have here is Discord launched. I have the actual downloaded app launched on my PC. And in this case, I don't belong to any current servers on this account that I created. I created this account for the purpose of being able to show you what everything would look like if you're getting a fresh start to Discord. So after creating my name and coming up with my little avatar here, this is what you would see when you first log into Discord. So you will get this window if you follow the link to our server, which can be found at discord.gg/perkypugs. Or an alternate way to be able to enter our server is over on the left hand side here. You'll see this plus sign. If you click on that, you'll have the option to join a server. And here in this box, you can just type in Perky Pugs because we're a partner Discord server, so we have the ability to have that little shortcut there. So go ahead and click join. And right away, you'll be put into our information channel. So over on the left-hand side here, there's a couple quick things to notice. Number one, Perky Pugs. This is our Discord icon. So eventually, when you join more than one Discord server, you will have multiple buttons going down this row here. And so clicking on Perky Pugs is how you always come back to our server specifically. You'll also notice here that I have a notification from Jeeves. Jeeves is set up so that when you first join our server, you get a little welcome message that also includes information to help you navigate our server. So please make sure you read over this. I'll let you do that when you join the server. And it's full of some helpful information to help you navigate your way through. So once you've read that, you can head back over to Perky Pugs, and I'm just going to take you on a quick little tour of our server and kind of explain really quickly what things are and where the information is that you're probably here looking for. Real quick, right over on the right hand side, you'll see which moderators are online. These are the mods that run the server. They have the ultimate say in what happens here and are the ones that may talk to you if something happens, if something doesn't go the way that it should, or if we need to discuss something with you that happens up in the server. But things usually are pretty relaxed in our server. You also see group leaders. These are the people that frequently run groups in our server, and they have some extra special permissions. Currently, these are our Horde Violet Spellwing carriers. You can keep scrolling down to our Alliance carriers, and then below that is basically everyone else that's in the server. If you want to see more information about somebody, you can click on their name there and you can see what roles they have, and you also have the option to send them a message. That'll be a private message that only that person will be able to see. This is probably a good place to reiterate, though, one of the biggest things, especially regarding Violet Spellwing runs, is we have a lot of people in our Discord server, and if people join our server and immediately default to DMing a mod with one of their questions, that can add up to a lot really quickly for us to handle. So your best bet if you have questions about how the Violet Spellwing runs work is to follow the steps that I'm going to show you here, and then if you still have questions, I'll show you where those can go as well so that you can get a quick answer and be able to move on and let people show you how things are done. So like I said, the first channel you're going to come across here under the information section is info, and this channel just tells you a little bit about Perky Pugs, how we came to be, a description of the rules that we have here, the roles that people have and what they mean, a description of each of the channels that you'll see here on the left hand side and what they mean and what they're for. This describes our events and how you can participate in them. These don't necessarily, this goes into detail here. If you're specifically interested in a Spellwing run, we'll go over that later. So this events section here is mainly tailored to events that are not Spellwing runs. So if we do a normal land Taurus or whatever the case may be, this is how you attend one of those events. If you want to support Perky Pugs, you can follow us on our social media. You can also support us in these ways. And we are sponsored by Blue Microphones, who is generous enough to provide us with equipment to give away every month. So that's basically that. The next place I'd recommend that you swing by is the Get Rolls channel. So this is how you'll declare your allegiance and decide which factions you want to get notification pings for when a new group is forming. So if you want to get alliance pings, you will click on the blue alliance symbol there, and you'll see how the button for the alliance now looks different. The numbers are now in blue instead of gray, so that's how you'll know that you've successfully given yourself that role. Now, if I say, oops, I didn't want to give myself alliance, I meant to give myself the horde role, you can click off of that and click on this instead. Now, there are people who are bifactional, as we say, and who have characters on both sides. So you can have both. Now, because Discord ranks roles, essentially if you give yourself both factions, you're going to show up as red, simply because red is higher on the list of roles. If you want to avoid that and be seen as a true neutral, you can also give yourself the purple rank. This is the neutral rank. So you'll be shown as purple in the chat, but you will also be getting pings for whatever else you have selected here. So you can have all three roles. You can show as neutral but only get pings for alliance. You can show neutral and only get pinged as horde. It's really just as simple as selecting whichever roles you want here. This other section down here is within regards to being able to post in our LFG channel, which is right here, and we'll go over that in a minute. If you want to form a group for something, meaning that you have a group right now, say you say, I want to run a Heroic Emerald Nightmare. You can create a post in our LFG channel, but in order to be able to do that, you have to give yourself the LFG role. And to assign yourself that role, you click on this LFG button here, but you definitely want to make sure that you read the rules pertaining to what you can and cannot post there and how the post should be structured. This is just to help us keep things in order so that people are getting pings for only events that they want to get pings for, and that things stay consistent and organized so that people can easily find what they're looking for. So third on the list of information is the Violet Spellwing info channel. This channel from the very top goes over everything you need to know regarding how to get into a Violet Spellwing run. So you'll see here some of the basic rules, some of the steps. We have some resources here. We have this image which goes over what to do before you tune into the stream, how to enter the raffle, and what to do once you're chosen from the raffle. So I'm not going to go into great detail in this little video about that, but this is the channel here you're going to want to really read. And I know it looks like a lot, but I promise you it's like maybe a 5-minute read if you go through and just read all the little tidbits, because we've also done some updates since we originally started this channel to try to make sure that all your questions are being answered here. So like I said, I know it seems like a lot, but I promise you it's worth the 5 minutes of your time to go through and just read. You can click on any image to make it bigger if you want to do that. And then there are links here also that kind of go through some of the more detailed pieces here. So this is a very important channel. Like I said, if you joined specifically for the Violet Spellwing runs, I highly recommend that you start by reading this channel, because if you go to Chatterpugs and you post a question that's already answered here, more than likely people are just going to point you back here. So it's definitely worth your time to just go ahead and give that a read and save some time. Events and announcements. This gets updated whenever we have a big announcement or important thing to get out to the group. Every Monday, will update with a list of the events that we have planned for that week. These are official Perky Pugs events run by either our mods or group leaders. So there's usually a certain level of assurance that you have that these groups will be successful, simply because these are either recurring events that happen every week or they're very well organized. These are separate from events that happen in the LFG channel, which can be run by anyone with that role and can pop up anytime throughout the week. So these are the events that definitely happen throughout the week. And important to note, this is also the channel that we will be updating when we're ready to announce the dates and times for the 12-hour runs that will be coming up for the Violet Spellwing. So that's pretty easy to understand. Affiliated guilds and groups, these are just groups and guilds that we have aligned ourselves with because they've been approved that they run their groups the same way that we do, meaning that we don't tolerate people getting mad or angry over silly things. We believe in being patient with one another and giving each other the opportunity to learn and improve. So this is a little place to stop by. We don't have very many here, but we are going to be improving our, or I shouldn't say improving, we're going to be reinstating our affiliate guild application soon. So this channel will start being filled up with more information soon. Raiding resources, this is pretty self-explanatory. This is just where we will post video guides and written guides for different raid bosses. This is kind of a dead channel until BFA launches. When the new raid Old Year comes out, then we'll be able to update that with some guides for you. Warcraft news, this is just the place where Wowhead's webhook posts different updates. So this is basically just an informational channel. Occasionally some people will comment on things and chat a little bit here, but it's not a very busy channel for the most part. Bot commands, this is a channel that is completely optional. Jeeves, that bot that DM'd you when you first joined the server, he also does some cool things here where you can look up your armory and things like that here. So that's something that's definitely not mandatory by any means and something that you can look at on your own time there. Chatterpugs, this is our main chat channel. So this is just general discussion. People will hop in here and say hi, let people know your name, say what server you're from, what your main is. You can stop by and introduce yourself here. And this is the channel where if you do have questions about the Violet Spellwing runs after you've read Violet Spellwing info, then feel free to post them here, because at any given time we have a ton of people online who can answer your question very quickly. Whereas if you DM a mod or a group leader with your question, especially if it's one that's already answered, somebody may not be online, somebody may not be looking at their computer, and hours may go by, and your best bet is just to always ask questions here, because this is going to be where you're going to get your quickest answer. And most of the people here have been with Perky Pugs for a long time and definitely know the answers and how things work. So this is always going to be your best bet here. Pugs and other animals, completely optional channel again, but you know, why wouldn't you want to swing by and look at some cute dogs and cats and other sorts of animals we got going on in here. Let's see. LFG, this is the channel that I was talking about earlier. As you can see, the posts all pretty much follow a similar format. We allow you to ping the faction when you make the post. As you can see here, this is one of our wonderful mods. She's pinging the Alliance for a heroic Goroth Maiden's avatar, and most importantly, kill Jaden. Starting time now, and here's the requirements for what she would like for you to be able to join her group. And if you want an invite, then you can whisper her in-game here. So that's just a sample of how posts in this group should work, or posts in this channel should work, I'm sorry. The self-promotion channel, this automatically posts whenever one of our streamers goes live, whenever someone who's on our Perky Pugs stream team goes live on Twitch. You can also post here whenever you go live. You don't have to be on our stream team to post your channel here. This is also a place to share blog posts. If you have a YouTube channel and you've recently uploaded a video, you can also put that here. Pretty much anything goes as far as self-promotion, as long as it's not something that breaks one of our rules in our info section. So that's it for the information and the social channels. These are all text-based channels, so all you can do in these are type. You can include links where appropriate. You can upload images where appropriate. If once you read all the information section, you won't be able to type in these channels. Well, you can type in a couple of them, but probably won't want or need to frequently. You can just minimize it by clicking that and then just leave the social channels up, because this is where you'll spend the most of your time while you're in Perky Pugs. Voice channels. Any of these, well, most of these are open to people to hop into whenever they want. Lobby, if you just want to hop in there and say hi to someone, you can just click on the name of the channel. We don't really have much going on right now, obviously, because there's not any official runs going. After you've been AFK or non-responsive for 15 minutes, it'll automatically scoot you down to the AFK channel and mute you so that you don't have any issues there. If I did want to join a channel, like I said, I can join, click on the Violet Spellwing Winners channel, and there I am, and then I would be able to talk in there. If you want to disconnect, then you would just click here. If you want to make sure that you are on push to talk instead of voice activation, that can be done under voice and video. And then you would choose either voice activity, which means that your microphone or your headset will pick up whenever you're talking. This is generally frowned upon during our runs, unless you just have a really quiet background and not a loud keyboard. Because it gets really hairy when you've got 30 people in a channel, and even though it may seem like a small amount of noise, when you have 30 people with a small amount of noise, it adds up pretty quickly to a lot of noise. So generally we prefer that you go on push to talk, so that when you push, right now it's set up to be the control key as the shortcut. Whenever I hold down control, that's when it will be able to broadcast my voice to the people that I'm in the channel with. If you do want to call somebody privately and do a video call, that can be done here, but we won't get into that because as a group there'll never be a need for us to do that. So those are the biggest things that we can do. I think Discord is pretty fun. I think it's pretty easy to navigate, but I understand that if it's new to you, it may seem a little overwhelming. But basically, like I said, you're always going to navigate to the server that you want to go to, so Perky Pugs. And then in our server, you'll be able to scroll through all these channels and get the right information that you need. And if you don't think you'll ever use voice, you can also minimize that so it doesn't take up as much room either. So you can make it as small as that. You know, you can expand the social, like I said, since that's where you'll spend the majority of your time. If you don't want a notification down here at the bottom of the taskbar whenever there's a new message in this channel, you can server mute, as you can see I've done here. If I unmute it, then whenever somebody types a new message, I'm going to get that little red button until I click on that channel, read the new messages, and then it goes away. I would personally probably do that simply because, you know, there's pretty much always going to be somebody talking, and with the number of members that we have, that can be a little overwhelming to just always have a notification down there, but that's just me. Notification settings, like I said, you can mute the server. You can even make it to where it doesn't tell you when we do an everyone ping, although if you're here to participate in runs, I highly discourage choosing this option, because this means if you just forget to check in, you're not ever going to be notified when we're doing our runs. So I really wouldn't do that. Unless you just really don't want to get any notifications from us whatsoever. So that is really it. That is the tour of the Perky Pugs Discord server. I think I've pretty much covered everything. The only other thing that I would recommend to you in this server, and really in any other server that you wind up joining, whether it be a class Discord server, a Wowhead server, whatever the case may be, is up here you're going to see a pin for pinned messages. And that's a silly one. But this is whenever we see that there is a message important enough that we need to be able to have quick access to it, we can pin it here. So like if you were to join like a class Discord, you would probably want to check the pins before you start asking questions, because just like how we are quick to point you to the Violet Spellwing info channel about Violet Spellwing info, they're going to be really quick to point you to the pinned posts regarding some of the frequently asked questions about your class. So that's just a little deviation there, but that is the gist of it. So I wanted to thank you for watching, and hopefully this helps. If you do have any questions, aside from what this video covered, again, please feel free to hop on in our Discord and type in the Chatterpugs channel, and sure enough, there will be people around that can help you find the answers that you're looking for. We hope to see you soon!